Welcome back to another episode of Generac Garage. Today we have a Generac Speedwash and it's not building water pressure. So today we're going to get into that and see what the issues are and go from there. All right, so the customer brought this in saying that it's not building pressure. I tested it earlier and what it's doing is you turn the water on and it starts spraying out. If you leave it for a little while, it will build a little bit of pressure, but it really just doesn't have much to it. So if that's what it's doing, it's most likely an issue with the pump here. Those tend to fail. So what happens, there's three things that you shouldn't do with a power washer. Number one is, and I just learned this a few years ago, and it says it in a lot of user manuals as well for these power washers, you should never let them idle for more than a minute. These pumps get cooled by the water that's coming into it, and when the water can't circulate, it heats up and burns the valves up. That's mostly like the issue with this one is the valves are either stuck or they're burned up. Secondly, during the winter, people leave water in these. They don't drain them out properly, and that will cause them to crack. Now, when I turn this on, the water, I let it run for a while, and nothing was leaking, and it gets worse when you use the wand as well. But I didn't see any water coming out of this pump, so it's most likely one of the check valves that are in here. Oh, and the last thing for these is that I forgot to mention is you should never start these without water on. And they're pretty tight. This is just kind of bouncing on here, so I don't want to break something. That one broke free. There we go. Is there a third? Yeah, there's one more at the bottom. Let's get this one here. We might just have a stuck valve or check valve, or we might have bigger issue, like one completely destroyed itself. So we'll find out. Yeah. Let's go on here like this. The crankshaft in here turns, and these are kind of like how valves work. These get pushed down, and look into these check valves here. And let's get this over on the bench. Let's pop this guy out. I have to get a pick. This here pick set. Let's see what will work. That's too big. How about you? There we go. And the seal came with it. This steel feels pretty pliable. This could probably be reused. I don't see anything wrong with it. We'll get those out. Now let's get a look in here. I'd say, let me get a light in here so you guys can see that that's not supposed to look like that. That looks a little... And they're all bad like that. Jeez. Yeah, this is going to need a rebuild kit. Let me see if we can get a socket on here and zip those off. Those out of there. That one doesn't want to go. Well, we'll get it out of there. Oh, that one is really, really stuck on there. Just double reduce it. There we go. So had to get a stronger impact on there. All right, so here's what we're looking at here for these. Let's see if we can dig these out. I'm gonna have to get a different pick. See, this is probably how these are supposed to look. Yeah. That's how these are supposed to look. So these ones I don't have any issue with. Just want to make sure they're not stuck. They all seem to move pretty freely. Some of these pumps you can't rebuild. They're sealed units, and that's just kind of a pain. But this one you can, so that's nice. Let's see if we can get this guy out. O-ring on there. So what happens is the water, this is facing down. The water comes in and presses up on this. You can see this spring back. That allows the water to go in, but not back out. So that's what builds up pressure. As you can see, these ones are smoked, so we're gonna have to get those out of there. This, I'm just going to reassemble. Everything looks pretty good in here. So we're just gonna get these caps back on. And then I'm going to have to order some parts that I can hopefully overnight. There we go. Let's try to dig out the remains of these. All right, I got these all cleaned out. Looking pretty good. I just ordered the parts. These valves for 6 of them, it was like 12 bucks. So it's really not bad. So if you're having the same issue with your power washer and you have a rebuildable pump, this is most likely the issue. And it's very simple to do. It's very quick and fairly cost effective as well. So these ones are fine. We're going to keep those on there. This is the unloader. This is probably fine. If we have any issues later, we can check that. But I think it's mainly just these valves that just totally just fried themselves, melted right to the walls of the pump. So we got to wait on those. I guess the next thing we can do is address the fuel issue really quick. So we can get that carburetor off really quick and just go from there. He said it ran fine, but I had to pull it like 15 times just to get it to turn over. So that tells me there might be a slight fuel issue. Let's get this off here. And I'll tell you, if you're having issues starting and you're just, hosing this thing down with the ether, what happens is that when the engine's trying to start, that ether will pre-detonate and put a hole right in your piston, or you'll blow a head gasket out. It's okay to use one every once in a while. I've used it before. It's okay to just give it some quick spritz, but if you sit there and just hold on it, you're going to put a hole in your piston. So what am I getting here? It's like everything's probably 10 millimeter. You gonna come off? No. How about now? Let's move these guys over here. Well, what are you connected to? This breather tube out. Maybe move that here. There we go. All right, everything looks pretty standard here. Just a gasket. Fuel line. I'm gonna have to pinch that guy off and get my mini needle nose. Get this line pinched off. There we go. All right, and then grab some regular needle nose. Crack this line free. All right. Get this fuel rod out as we can, and the surge spring. All right, we are free. The gasket is still on that side. So, all right, let's get a look at this and see if there's anything going on with it. Let me grab some gloves. So I'll constantly have the smell of gas on my hands. Like I said, the guy said it was running. It does run. I just, I'd hate to give a machine back to somebody and, it just doesn't run that great. Well, are you going to go on there? Come on. There we go. Wow. That's really stuck on there. There we go. Pop that free. Don't want to rip the gasket because I don't have another one of them. Oh, fuel ball looks pretty good. Jets look pretty good. Let's pull this out. Look at the needle. Looks good. The seat. Seat looks fine. Need a smaller screwdriver. Take a look at this jet here. Screwdriver is just a little too small. My other one is just a little too big. Do I got something in between? In betwixt. would be handy dandy furniture screwdriver coming in clutch again. I've shown this in a previous video, but I got this screwdriver from a piece of furniture that we got. The awesome thing about it is it has these notches, so you can make this long, that long, flip it around, it's Phillips, and it also ratchets. You go this way, or you can lock it in the middle so it doesn't go either way. Best piece of furniture tooling that I have ever received. I think it was for like it's like a small table. Let's get this jet out, take a look at it. Oh yeah, she's open. You can see right through it. Not a problem whatsoever. So I'm not 100% sure I know why it was not starting very well. Just a emulsion tube in there. Guess we'll put it back together. I don't want to mess with it too much. Just because it, like I said, it does run. It's just hard starting. So fuel's not an issue. Spark's obviously not an issue because once it's running, it's fine. Could be valves, but I'm not going to get into all of that on this machine, especially since he just wants it to build pressure again, which I can do. Well, let's get that back in there. Why won't you go in? There we go. That seems fine. Everything seems fine. There we go. Blowing it. No fuel's going through. Flowing fine. And upside down. No fuel coming through. So yeah, everything's functional. Let's get this back on, and then I'm going to have to bring you back maybe tomorrow so we can reinstall the new check valves. So on this power washer here, I dug into here and I replaced these check valves, and then I put it back on the machine and it destroyed the check valves again. So what the actual problem is, you can see it there, this axial pump is shot. This is supposed to be a closed unit and the oil's not supposed to be leaking out, so this pump is shot. It's causing these to stroke out too far and I think just absolutely destroy those check valves. The problem is these units with the pump run aftermarket, probably $150. For an OEM Generac one, you're looking at $300. So that's when I contacted the guy I got this from, and he said, just keep it. He doesn't want anything to do with it, so I got a good engine out of it, but the other parts they're garbage. So I'm gonna take what I can that's useful off here and use this for parts essentially. This engine, I believe, is a 196cc, which is the same as, all of the clone engines. So this is a good engine. I can use this for parts or anything else. And that's it for today for that. I hope you found some of that informative, with what's going on with it, but there's nothing else I can do with that. So I appreciate you guys watching another episode, and I'll see you next week. I might have a few videos this week actually because I got a lot going on. So I'll see you next time.